Hey look, we found the floor of the shop. Well, it's Sunday. It's also garbage day to take the house garbage out, and the shop's got a good pile of garbage. So let's grab the keys to Rusty and take out some garbage. But last weekend or a couple weekends ago when I took him, he had a couple little issues, so let's pull him in the shop and give him some love before we take out the garbage. How are we doing, Rusty? We were 30-something, 36 below last week, and we had got a bunch of snow. We got almost 2 feet of snow. Got a Chinook came in, warm wind. It's been 50 degrees yesterday, and just boom. Mud and yuck everywhere. Mr. Rusty? Nope, I slept on some crap there. You gonna give me any love? Hey, Garfield. You gotta step in your window. Oh, your suction cups aren't working. Oh, the bullet holes, the cracks, the vice grip. It's all part of the plan. Oh, really? Come on, girl. Get fuel to you. There you go, girl. Oil pressure's up. Get that little ticky-tack. Pull you in. All right. Let's shut her down. Well, this is Rusty. No, I've done videos on him before. Picked him up for a couple $100 out in the field. Literally just wanted him for parts and pieces. But we've got, where's your release? There we are. I have a safety-ish wire here because these are the hoods that go straight up and down, and it's always a little windy around this area, so it was kind of a green truck before, had some brown. I've rattle canned some of these. It had the 60s grill on it, which was the big pie pan single headlights, which I've never been a fan of. So I put this earlier 4 headlights style on. I absolutely love this headlight style. You know, obviously different than the 70. 70's got a soft spot in my heart for known reasons. It actually has 70s doors put on it that somebody else kind of put on, and they, you know, has a bunch of filler and crap on that way. The bed was completely rotten and broken and fallen down. So once I pulled it in, I started really liking him. So I put an all new floor through him. So the floor of the bed's all new, so that's got solid metal all through it. Put a floor in the bed of that, and then put a complete dump box on him because, well, what good's a garbage truck take out? Look at that. You know how to take garbage and throw out stuff. Now that's something. Plus, you know, it's got to have the big CB antenna on it. It's not hooked up, but it fits his, you know, look, we had a broken wing window here, so Just took a piece of metal and rattle canned it and glued it in place. We handwritten on some of that. Some of the patina on the box is actually literally fake. This is all just rattle canned brown. It was like a different colored box to what the truck was. Believe it or not, this was all sandblasted and cleaned, and we repainted the frame after I put the hydraulic bed and everything on. So that is that. This is the actual fuel tank. So that's all he has for fuel. It's been widened in the back, so it's about 6.5, 7 gallons, but it's not like we're taking this guy on a big road trip. But let's see in here, he's got a pretty bad tick. And I do believe, when I looked at it last weekend, it might be something as simple. Let's get a flashlight down in there. Yeah, it is missing its bolt on the exhaust. Or it's missing the nut on the back side of it in there, so we'll pop that bolt out, get a good one with good threads, and yep, this one right there is rattly and loose. Ooh, my finger out of the way. That one's a little bit tight. We'll get them tightened up. It's a fun mess. But anyways, there's a little bit of rusty. You notice up on the front too, on the hood, for fun, he's got a 48 Ram. It's kind of funny how the 1948 Ram fits the grill really nice. I actually think while he's in here, I'm going to take that off because this one's pristine. There's almost nothing wrong with it. It's in beautiful shape. And I love Rusty, but he doesn't need a beautiful shaped, perfect, brand new Ram. I actually have one that's in a little bit rougher shape. I think it's over here, actually. Yeah. See? A little pitted up. Showing a little bit of weather. I think Rusty. And I realize your Ram's all nice and all, but I think we're going to go more something like that for you than that nice shiny one. So it's, you can call it an upgrade for his benefit. That, good old Rusty. Let's tighten up some exhaust bolts. Let's find out if there's any oil in it. You burn a little, you leak a little. It's got some issues. Okay, Rusty. Why you gotta be a pig? That back bolt is loose. The threads are all goobered up. And because it's loose, you know, you can't put a wrench on the top and the bottom. Almost need to get somebody underneath with an impact, somebody on top with the big gun and break it. But I can't be on the top and the bottom at the same time, doing shit by yourself all the time. So I got to figure out how I'm going to get that bolt off. It is so rusted and corroded, the threads aren't turning any direction. So I got to cut it off somehow. I don't even think I can get the torch in there. You get the plasma cutter in there, I'm going to cause more problems getting on everything else. Plus, you know, there's just a little bit of oil and mess everywhere on this here motor. We don't need to be catching anybody on fire. He's just for fun, but let's get the effing bolt out. What do they say? A broken bolt's a 5-minute job turns into 3 hours. Some damn thing. I win. But unfortunately, I think Rusty loses. It wasn't the bolt that was broken. The manifold is actually broken. So, I've got a handful of old LA motors in the back. I'll see if I have a manifold that fits that. Oh, and that's the flange right off the back. And yeah, I nicked it with the cutoff wheel when I was cutting the bolt, but that was actually after I saw the crack of the whole thing, so. Bummer of a birthmark. Let me go dig in my boneyard motor, see if I have a manifold that might fit that. Well, this was the Rattle Can Rebuild 360. Those had headers on it. This 318's got this manifolds missing. That's a 440 Cummins. This is actually a really good 318 out of an 86. It was running strong when I yarded that motor out. So actually this is the motor I would like to put in Rusty someday. Not today though, but it does have good manifolds on it. I'm gonna go look on my shelves to see if I have manifolds loose off of stuff that I've already tore apart. Because, you know, you don't get rid of anything, right? Ooh, I think I found a winner. Now, obviously not that manifold. But this is, if this is a smog, there's a smog manifold on that guy. You can throw the smoggy pump up. It's a small orifice one, but I believe that's passenger side. I'll just have to make a plate for the smog pump. Yeah, this has actually the warm air choke on it, which will get rid of all that. There's the rear flange. That's why you don't get rid of stuff. There's my manifold. Thanks, pile o' stuff. You know, any of y'all, friends and family watching this that have always given me a bad time about being, well, I don't know, a hoarder, I would just like to point out that this quick little activity of ridiculousness just saved me a bunch. Oh, look at that. I actually had the little baffled in this one. Looks pretty damn identical to me. So see, it's not hoarding. It's saving for a rainy day. It's not raining, but it's melting snow really fast. Huh, Rusty? It's okay. I still love you. Oh, our gasket's seen better days. Imagine that. And back to the aspect of not hoarding. I'm going to go look in some old gasket kits that I have upstairs and see if I have a gasket for that. Old gaskets. That's not for exhaust. That's not. That's. Ha 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 ha. Neener, neener, neener. Looks like I used it. See? Even used, but saved it because it's good. Huh? Yeah. Get in there. Why do I have this really old radio that doesn't work and will probably never work? Because it's cool. Get off me. When taking off old rusty bolts, you can use one ugga-gugga, or you can use all the ugga-guggas. And then it just doesn't matter. I need two hands. Now this has all this lovely schmog stuff on here. So that little, see it? There we go. That little damper in there, when that spring gets hot, is supposed to open that up so that airflow do something-ish in there, and it makes it work. And you know what? I want airflow. And so we're just going to pretend that doesn't exist. And that's just going to get smacked off. And then we're going to cut this. I'm just going to pinch this guy off right here. I could get all fancy and take this off and use this as a pattern on a piece of metal and take the plasma cutter and cut it out and drill a hole and make a nice little filler plate. But rusty. So, bang, 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 glue, 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 cramp. Good enough. So we are driving the pin out that holds the little baffle in, and back to need two hands, but then I'm going to have a hole from where that was. So we will then put either a little bolt through there to seal it up, or I'll show you here in a second. So I got the little baffle out. Then I drove the pin back through both sides. So now there's just the pipe there, but I was going to put a bolt either through it, but then I'd have the head of the bolt on this side and the head of bolt and nut and bolt on this side or whatever. I'm just going to put this here. I bent that rod really bad trying to drive it through, so it took a little bit of work to straighten it to get it to line back up through the pins and drive it in. But now I'm going to grab the hot glue gun and throw a ground on a strap in there. Burn a ball on that, put a little tack on the back of it. It goes nowhere, no more leak, no more seal. I'm going to do the same thing up here. I'm just going to pinch that down with a pair of pliers, burn a little weld on it, throw it in the truck. That is that. So, a little ball weld on top of the ball, pinch that across, put a little weld up there. It looks like a manifold. Note to self, when scraping the head to get any old gasket material and things out of it. Plus, look how horrible those valves are in there. Woo! They're bad. Don't hit your metal scraper against the positive terminal of your alternator while doing that, and it sparks inside the freaking valve and makes you go, what the hell? I was a little confused, to be honest. All right, used gasket. Hang on that bolt. Hang on that bolt. I need two hands. Looks like a thing. Well, you know what? I think, Rusty, you're going to be able to take garbage out. We got to hurry up. We got work to do, Rusty. See all that garbage? It's not going to haul itself. Let's get moving. You know, I don't know if it's going above and beyond, but a few of these bolts were so rusty and questionable that I think just one little tiny ugga on the little gun probably would have broke the bolt inside the head, which would have just really upset the day. You know the other thing too? You make trucks with workbenches on top of the fenders and hoods that open all the way. I miss these days. New trucks suck. Okay, new bolts, pulled down tight. Couple new bolts in there. Had to use some of the originals because fine thread nut things that way, and I didn't have one quite the right length there. I also noticed a little saggy on one side. Well, have to puff and blow that one up. Let's see how rusty sounds now. Neutral stick. That's better. Idle's a little low. No bad ticky blow by. burn a little oil off the bottom of that. Exhaust goes 2 to 1. Right off there, comes down underneath. And then just our single little stack on that. I do have a little heat shield I want to put around that. That's an old military heat shield that's just for fun. But checking some fluids. Surprisingly, has oil. But he is definitely a little low. So we are going to give him the finest mixture of whatever old ass oil I got laying around the shop is. So he gets that. We had some partial gallon of some O'Reilly's something that we threw over there. There you go, Rusty. Oil, no exhaust leak. You got tires that are roundish. You got your upgraded ram. No more broken manifold, broken bolts. You know what? Watch this. A lot of people aren't going to believe this. I'm going to take this and this. Watch, I'm recording it for prosperity. Threw it away, okay? I threw it away. Jeez. I might put it on the wall as a souvenir, but I mean, it's not thrown away yet. It's in the inside garbage. Close to the recycling. Now you got to make sure you tuck this wire on this side of the radiator because there's like spinny thingies in here. You don't want it to get wrapped up in, or you know, shit happens. Hood's closed. The new improved ram. Look at that. It's like perfect patina, Rusty. Let's go see how fast we can get this ram to run down the street. Let's close up your bed. Throw in some garbage. Pull around to the house. Get all the house garbage. Let's go for a ride. All right, garbage is loaded. But I just noticed something. Which I am never filming myself, but that is the shirt I'm wearing. So that is the grill Rusty used to have, and that is the grill that he currently is rocking, and that's the 70 grill that's on most everything else we have, because that's the pretty. But honestly, out of all of them, I like that one. I think that one's the coolest style. But when you got stuff like Beast out here, you know, we have our 70. That's the true 70 with the 70 grill. That's actually the early 60s hood with the 70 grill added in. Stretched cab and all that fun stuff. Seen that 1,000 times. And then technically the hood for that truck is the hood that's on this truck, and the hood for this truck is actually on that truck, because this is that's the 60s style hood, which is this hood that's got all the louvers and bumps and things on it. That's the early 60s hood. I put the 70 hood, that's more of the smoother hood with the 70 grill, on the 66 cab that's got the refrigerator door handles and all that when I built this guy. This is a hodgepodge of just parts and things that makes Rusty what Rusty is. Let's take our garbage out. On the road again, like a band of gypsies, we go down the highway. Rusty and I are the best friends, shifting gears and doing it our way. We got one break that might work. I really don't know the name for this song or the words that go. Well, your rusty old ram or patina ram is doing just fine. dump area is a muddy mess. Well, there we are taking garbage out. You might say, how could you be negative temperatures a couple days ago and lose 2 feet of snow in one day? So you ask, would you just take Rusty and park him? Or let's see what the field's like. Let's just say we're stuck with our big paddle tires and our big block motor. We've got 2 sticks over here. We just take this stick and we slide this stick back. Put that guy back in that girl. Put that in that gear. Put that all the way back. Now the front wheel grabs. Now we gotta take it from this upward position here. Here's second. Now we're flinging mud off the front tires. Oh, you don't want to hit that. I'm getting covered in mud. Well, that's Rusty. Now, I could get all fancy and set up my phone somewhere, go flying by with Rusty, flinging mud off the tires. But you know what? You younger generations lack the imagination that it takes to picture this perfect specimen of a vehicle. So now, here's what you need to do. Picture this 852 horsepower, naturally aspirated pile of a Butte flying by with his big knobby tires, big mud flying off all 4 tires, going, woo, Rusty! Well, that's the day of Rusty. Take garbage out with it from time to time, do some yard work. I think she can sit right there and drip off. That's what we're calling it.